Have to be. Oh, that's a full 30 minutes worth of stuff.
It don't make it 30 minutes.
Okay. It hold on.
My God.
I think that work. All right, we are live streaming now. So good morning, everybody. And now I'm recording, and let's get the screen looking right. So good morning, Jessica. How are you?
And how are you today?
Doing good. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm hungry, but except for that, everything is going. I got one of my comfortable like house shirts on today, and I'm at home, and I am ready for us to talk about intentional sex today.
Okay.
So, because it seems to me that clients are still that people are still just lost that or lost, bewildered, dumbfounded at how aging, and I don't even know if it's just aging, because I feel like aging implies 40 and older. And
Yeah.
So let me say adulting, how adulting gets in the way and interferes with your sex life.
Okay.
And adulting will rob your sex life if you don't like protect it. Like you got to be like on guard with that thing, because adulting will take it away. And so let's look at some, and then I'm gonna give you the floor to talk about it as well. But it's like my numbers used to be like, if you're over the age of 30 and you got a full-time job, then don't try to have sex after 9 o'clock at night. Now I'm like, if you over the age of 25 and you got a full-time job, don't try to have sex after 9 o'clock at night. Especially if you're also doing a workout in there, and especially if you also have children. And so, whereas when you're younger, you have more free time, you're not as stressed. You may be working a job, but the job you have when you're 18, 19, 20, 21 is not the career you have when you're later. So when I worked a job, I left my job. My career doesn't leave me. If I'm not careful and I work really hard not to take my clients to bed with me, that's what I call it, taking my clients to bed with me, or really hard. But if I'm not careful, I get in the bed still thinking about cases, and man, maybe I should have said this, and dang, oh my God, I don't know if they really understood that. How can I get them to understand this? And so I have to have a really good nighttime ritual so I don't do that. And I can wake up into thought, into, oh, I got to remember to do this or do this or do that. So adulting, if you're not careful, working, having a career will just keep you from tapping into that sensual side of yourself, that sexual side of yourself, because there's so much to do. So, good morning, Sherry. We're talking about I want people to be intentional with their sex lives, and I want people to understand if you're not intentional with it, adulting will steal your sex life. It's just rob it. It's like a thief in the night. Like you don't even know when. And then next thing you know, you're looking at your partner being, when was the last? Well, remember you had to go to your mama's, and then I had to go to my daddy's, and then remember so-and-so was in the hospital, and then remember you had to go out of town for 2 weeks at work, and then next thing you know, it's been like, wait a minute, it's been 3 months. Like, let's do the math on that again. All right. So anyway, that's my 2 cents for today. And I'll come back around and give some more tips on like literally being intentional. But okay, Jessica, what do you want to add before I give it over to Sherry?
Basically, I think what we talked about before of how people put the distance. Well, sex is a fearful topic, and the only thing that makes it fearful is the distance you put in between it. So when you say having a work-life balance, including sex in that life, and see is it still a priority for you, or still a pleasurable thing for you to do that you want to include it. Like we know we got to run errands and we know we got to have some rest time. We know we need some downtime. Is within that sex in the regimen, or is it a separate thing that has to be a special occasion for you? If you still want to keep that healthy relationship and have that emotion, add that into the agenda and don't make it like this perfect moment we have to have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that might be some really a whole conversation for a couple to have. Okay, let's say one of us want to have sex and we only got 10 minutes. What does that look like? Like, and so have a game plan around, this is what 10-minute sex looks like. This is what 1 hour sex looks like. This is what 30-minute sex looks like. And to be able to be like, okay, we only have time for this or we only have time for that. I think I was talking to somebody, I was laughing at myself of when I'm running late in the morning, like, as opposed to, it's like I can't think of what I need to cut out of my regular routine so that I can move faster. So I spend like 3 minutes walking around the room. This is not gonna work. I spend like 3 minutes walking around the room trying to figure out what to do. And so I finally have figured out, okay, I need to sit down and write out plans for myself. If you only got 15 minutes to get dressed, this is what you need to do. When you got 30 minutes, this is everything that you can do, so that I cut out that thinking time because it was getting in the way. And so I can see the same thing happening with my clients with sex, where we ain't got time, but y'all did have time to do something.
It's making those adjustments too. Because if I can't get the whole thing, I don't want it. And it's kind of like this thing I got in my room, like for working out. There's no such thing as a bad workout. A bad workout is a workout that didn't happen. So things like that. That's why I take into consideration, because sometimes I want to do all these different things at the gym, but I don't have time because I gotta go to work, I gotta pick the kids up, I gotta have some rest time. So I'm gonna have to conduce a workout or just hit the main points. Like in sex, if you feel like this is the main thing I want, I have to have some type of oral, I have to have some foreplay, have that take the majority of the time. So everything else will just be added on. But you still got your needs met. It's still intentional that you gotta make time for each other, still kind of thinking about what each other likes and incorporating that into the schedule as well. So we might not went full on out, but we still did what we needed to do and still make time for each other.
Right. And Sherry Anthony, I'm gonna give you the floor right now, Sharon, before I jump in again. Go ahead.
You good? It's giving my brain time to warm up. You can go ahead.
Okay. I want to say this, and I've seen this in couples. I'm gonna say 80% of the time, we don't really have to do everything. I just need to know that you want to do everything with me. So, like, if I know you want to do everything with me and you ain't got time, that's completely different than you ain't even thought about me in 3 weeks. Like, that feels terrible. And so if y'all can like use that and kind of capitalize on that and just say, hey, you know what? I got 10 minutes. And it's just been let's just get some skin contact going on. Like, I just missed the feel of you. What can we get done in this 10 minutes? And then I got to go because this meeting gonna start. And y'all know how Zoom meetings start. They count the minutes. And like, and so making sure you do that. But I've just seen time and time again, the effort is one thing, but the desire, like, you see me, I'm here, that I'm waiting on you, that I'd like to connect with you. So just stop in 5 minutes and doing that. I would love for y'all to do that once a day, but I understand adulting is hard. And so getting it in whenever you can, like, just like, I almost want to call it microdosing intimacy. So let's just do a micro dose on this real quick, and what does that feel like? And a lot of times that micro dosing, a little touch here, a little peck here, a little caress here, builds anticipation and excitement and makes us feel connected for when we do have the extra hour on Saturday morning or Sunday morning, or when maybe we can get the kids to spend the night with somebody else on Saturday night, or just watch a movie and we can get 30 minutes in there after we feed them, but before the credits. Like, and so, yes. So micro dosing sex. Please try it. Okay. All right, Sherry, I give it to you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna keep the conversation going, I guess, with the whole microdosing point. I said, wait, she must have read my mind because I was like, yeah. I say something about leading up to the big moment, right? So even if you can only do a little bit, then you won't have to start from zero when you actually able to maybe have
Yeah.
penetration and
Uh-huh.
reach that happy ending. But but I just think that I agree with both of you. Just really be intentional and make it something that you definitely put on your list of
Yeah.
things to do.
Yeah.
Um, consider sex probably a need. And then I think you hit on the important point, the desire.
Mm-hmm.
Because I meet with couples that might have desire, but just not at the same time. So how do we get in
Yeah.
sync?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was thinking about sex at 10 a.m., but now that adulting has happened, I
Mm-hmm.
can't even, I can't even be where I was at 10 a.m. now that it's 6 p.m. And then somebody may say, 6 p.m., yes, I'm ready. My day has ended, and I can think about everything that I want for dinner now in a sexual way. And I just
Mm-hmm.
think that being intentional about it is important. And don't let adulting be so hard that it becomes a scapegoat as
Ooh.
why you're not having sex. Because you either want to have sex or you don't.
Yeah.
And I believe that if you do,
Yeah.
you gonna have sex, whether y'all meet it in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Cause the kids running around. So y'all like meet me in the closet. I got the KY jelly. And we gonna do this while they downstairs eating real quick.
Right. You're
And
right.
who needs it at that time? So is it you just, fulfill the other partner? Like, okay, babe, I just want to have sex real quick. This is what you can do for me to help this move along.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm masturbating myself, whether you just helping me get it in,
Mm-hmm.
so so it might not even be both partners that have that same desire to reach like a happy ending. And you may just be able to help each other reach that happy ending in that moment, and don't look at it as a chore. Just get excited about sex. Like it's okay
Yeah.
to want it.
Yeah. Because it is connection with your partner. And human beings crave connection. And so making sure that you take time to have that connection. Let's see, hold on. Something else you said that brought something. You were saying, oh, desire. All right. So if you have desire at 10 a.m. and you're in the middle of a work meeting. All right. So send a text to your partner. Hey, remind me to tell you about this thought I had at 10 a.m. this morning. And so
Mhm.
now your partner is engaged with you. And so now when it comes to 6 o'clock this evening, now your partner can be like, what was you gonna tell me? And so it's like you connected in a moment, even though y'all were not able to connect. And also with desire, y'all human beings, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but our desires can change. Our desire can change back and forth. So just like you were sitting there with somebody and you're like, I'm not hungry. And then they start eating in front of you. All right, well, let me get now I'm hungry. Now I'm either I'm seeing it or I'm smelling it. You know what? I actually am hungry. I would like some of that. Whereas before, and so desire changed, and desire can change just that quickly. And you can figure out what are the things that you need to do that will purposely change your desire. You know, for most people, it's one or two songs that if that song comes on, it completely changes their mood. Like
Mhm.
they either they go back to when they was like 13, walking down the street with the boom box, or back to that like one time in college, or just this is such a good song. It always makes my hips sway, my shoulders up and down. It always makes me want to touch somebody. And if it's not music for you, it might be a movie clip. It might be a scene from an audiobook or a erotic novel or just a memory. But there's something you can do to shift your desire. And
Yeah.
so figuring out what that is for you, pre-gaming that so that you could pull that thing out at any time. And so I was talking to somebody, we was talking about the old R. Kelly, I'm really dating myself, but 12 play and how it was such a essentially aphrodisiac for them earlier that they've like tricked themselves
Still
that
on my playlist.
if anything, any song from like R. Kelly from that period of time automatically takes them back and puts them in that mood. Okay, so what is that thing for you? And if you don't have anything, then figure it out. Like this is a nice little kind of self journey of exploration to take of what would be that thing that would get me there. Another client we were talking about this week, um, uh, she was like, I don't know anything or da 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 da. And I was like, for a good while, the TV show Power was doing it for a lot of people. And she was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like first she
Really?
didn't immediately think about it, but once I said it, like she was like, "Oh yeah, Power did to have some pretty hot sex scenes in there." And then she even told me that Tommy had his, and I was like, "Damn, I fell off the show before Tommy had his." So I'm gonna have to go back and catch up and finish out Power. But once you may not like originally be able to think of it, and so, but start having a conversation with your partner, maybe even like friends from back in the day. You know, what's that one song? What's that movie clip? What's that thing that works for you? So, okay. All right. Jessica.
I was thinking about what things both of you guys said. And when it comes to desire, desire is looking at things what it possibly could be. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times when you're adulting, we have all these responsibilities. Going back to if I see something on TV, what kind of puts the hair on the back of my arms? Like what kind of gets me adjusting in my seat when I see something a little bit, kind of listening to your body and embracing that and welcoming that. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that Sharian said, like not making adulting be the scapegoat. Because a lot of times your partner might get behind you and you be like, man, move, I gotta do this, I gotta do a meeting, get away from me. Whereas you put in more pleasure into the work and you making sex like the deadline, the work that's just unforgivable and so hard to do, where it shouldn't be like that. It's about how you see certain things and finding that little loophole to try to have that contact with each other, trying to make it like a game, like what you were saying about the texting. Remind
Yeah.
me what I told you, and that kind of like scavenger hunt type of thing. Like it can help and can bring the joy back in the relationship and the playfulness back in that brought you guys together. And a lot of times in adulting, you feel like you don't have time to play because we're adults. We don't got time for this. We got bills to pay. But at the same time, then you just fall into I just got a roommate.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lover, I don't have a friend, I don't have anybody that I like. And I think I talked to a client before. A lot of people can love someone, but when you actually like being around them, you're
Yeah.
with your person.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really, really good. Really good. All right, Sharon, what do you want to add?
I'm gonna just have some self-disclosure. So me, I don't always share my desire with my husband because I know he's gonna hold me accountable. So if I'm feeling in the mood, I had to think twice about if I'm gonna send a flirty text because I know he's gonna cash in on that flirty text as soon as
Okay.
I come walk through the door. So
Right.
sometimes I really have to think about, am I gonna share this moment of horniness with him? Am I setting myself up? Because trust you me, I'm gonna have to cash in on that statement. If I
Right.
say
Right.
something,
Right.
he's gonna be like, "Oh hell yeah,
Mm-hmm.
today's the day." As soon as I walk in the door,
Look,
nobody
you
touch
you
your
need me to come
mama.
pick you up from your
Nobody,
job?
all the kids upstairs, don't touch her, don't do nothing. What you want to eat? You want me to fish you some water? Hey, you want me to go buy you something to eat? What you need? What you need to relax? So sometimes I really have to think about it like, am I gonna share this? Because trust you me, if you have a partner that's gonna hold you accountable
Yeah.
for that horny moment, sometimes it can be difficult, but sometimes I go ahead and do it so I will be held accountable because it's all about knowing yourself too. So I know that if he does all that and really try to accommodate me when I walk in the door so that, we can settle down and have a good night, then I say, okay, may be able to do that tonight because I know we had time. So I started measuring what's on my plate for the next day. You know, I really started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and do it so he can hold me accountable. Because usually once we get started, you know, I end up catching the wave, as I call it, with him. I'm like, I just got to catch the wave. Keep going. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it. And then when I catch it, it's on. You know, I had an older woman. I mean, she said she was like a oven. First, you got to turn me on, and then you have to pre-bake. And something else, yeah, the whole thing. Set the temperature, let me pre-bake, bake, and then I'm cooked and ready to go. I said, oh, okay.
Really, really good. Really good. Really
I think
good.
with me, I've been big on alarms and timers, and like I know when the kids get off the bus and they gonna hit, I hear them talking at 3:27. So I had my partner like, okay, we need to do this because we need to stop at 3:25, at 3:27. I can hear the footsteps coming up here, and I set alarms and everything else because I done did it on a school night and still been up and everything else. So I guess that adrenaline sometimes, maybe with me, my high six drive. Even if I got a heavy play, we gonna get something in some form of fashion, and I need to hold myself accountable. When I hit it, it's over.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead to the next activity. I'll see you later.
Right.
No, we went as the far as saying we was gonna buy a sign from. I made a sign on Amazon that said, "Not unless you're dying, please don't knock on this door."
Sure. I'm gonna need you to market that. I'm gonna need you to market that. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and just put it on Etsy.
I mean, as soon as that door closed, can I go get some water?
Oh my gosh.
I promise if this door was open, you would be getting water, spilling it all up the stairs, spilling it all over. Won't even be asking. As soon as the door closed, it's like they little spidey senses go. Everybody wants them.
Yes. Okay, listen, I gotta be the therapist here for a second. I gotta educate because both of you guys would just thank you for being vulnerable and transparent. So we can have a real like teaching moment here. I want men out there in the world, if you are hearing this, Mr. Man, I need you to hear the thought process that just went with both of these females, because they were both being very real and very transparent, is what goes on within their mind with sex. And I think for men, it's a lot more direct. I want to have sex, let's figure out how to have sex. Like, I want to have sex, let's have sex. And for women, it's not like that. It's like, okay, I'm feeling horny. Is now a good time? Is now not a good time? What the kids said, when the kids gonna be back, da 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 da. What do I got to do for tomorrow? And I just need men to know that it's just not as simple for them. I mean, for women as it may be for them. And I know, man, y'all got your own things, and y'all have y'all own processes. But like, this is a real opportunity. Like, y'all really saw, really literally into the mind of two women having thoughts about sex and balancing their family and taking care of their kids and being a good mom and what has to be done tomorrow. And so just know, men, when you come at her like that, all of those thoughts are going through her head. All of that. It's almost like I see y'all running around and y'all brains trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And she's just stuck there in time looking at you like, I don't understand why you didn't respond to my kiss. I don't know if I want to respond right now. Like, I don't know if I got the time to respond right now.
I'm gonna have to cash in, baby. So I'm gonna really have to think about this.
Like, think about it. And so it just and so for women, I need you to know, because some women will be like, well, I don't understand why I'm like this, and I didn't always used to be this. The more stress a female is under, usually the less likely she'll want to have sex. All right. Practically, also the more roles that she starts to feel in life, like she was a hot single girl, but now she's in a relationship. That's a role she has to fill. Now she's a wife. That's another role she has to fill that comes with more responsibilities than being the girlfriend or the fiance. Now she's like this employee mid-career. So those all things have to be done. And then as females get older, our responsibility level for the whole family starts to come into play. And so when I was 20, I didn't think nothing about my aunt and uncle or nobody, my cousins, nobody, nothing. Now that I am not 20, it does play a part in my head of what's going on with my immediate family, the people in my household, what's going on with my aunts, cousins, everything. What's who gonna need what, when, where? What do I got to be responsible for? And so those things layer up, and I think they layer up in a way that I don't see them layering up for me. And so I love my brothers. My brothers are excellent. They are like the most fabulous African American men that are on this earth. Like they are fabulous. They do not think about the whole family like I do. They don't. They don't. My aunt can call them and say, "Hey, come do this for me," but they are not sitting up there thinking, we should go by so and so's house and clean up for them. Like, oh, we went. Like they don't think like that. And so, like, there's just a very real difference in how men and women think and how women carry stress and how they react to stress. And so, I want people to be aware of that. And so, women, I want to normalize it for you and still say if you like chose to get married in a partnership, then whether you realize it or not, you chose to be sexual with your partner. So you do have to be intentional and you can't let adulting and stress steal your sex life away. And then men, you're gonna have to be patient because it's not like we just consciously making the decision not to. That's not it. Okay. All right. In the last 3 minutes, Sharon, I'm gonna let you take us out because I said all I need to say.
I just wanted to say this. A part of adulting is being intentional and understanding when you may have to schedule your sex life and don't depend on the spontaneity.
Yeah.
So then it can start to reduce some of those roles you do have because, these days, this is time for me and my significant other, and we have plans. So some of these roles just can't happen and they just can't take place. So I honestly became a scheduler in my own life. It works. It keeps us extremely consistent.
Yeah.
And those extra roles that I have around the house, whether it's for my husband or for my kids, we either completely don't do them or find other solutions because it is different. Like what you were saying really quickly is, hey, when I'm a person and I only have to worry about me, then maybe we do have a lot of spontaneous sex because I ain't got to worry about dinner. I don't have to worry about clothes. It's just so many other things you have to worry about when you do get married to a spouse that you don't have to worry about when you're not. Like, we're going our separate ways. When I leave, I ain't got to get you venting, talking about stuff. I don't have to deal with in-laws. I don't have to deal with nothing, so it's different. So I'm just simply saying having a schedule can be intentional too and can help alleviate some of the stress that you experience on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay, I want to jump back in real quick because I was just listening to Jill Scott the other day. And y'all know that song that she starts saying, she's at the beginning, "Now, girl, y'all go out. Y'all know I like to dance, but my man is coming through." Something to that effect, And so that's a perfect example of when you're dating, scheduling sex. So in that like couple of seconds, she had told her friends, "Do not bother me on Saturday night. Don't come looking for me because I have a scheduled time with this person, and y'all know what we're gonna be doing." Like basically, what's that? Like, don't knock on the door. Don't if the buses are rocking, don't come and knock it or something. And so when you're dating, it's very often scheduled sex. I know you can act like it's spontaneous, but it is not. It's very scheduled.
That's a good point.
Somehow we get married, and now we're just like, no, I can't schedule it like that. That's preposterous. Do you want a sex life or not? Do you want a consistent sex life or not?
Something or nothing, baby. Something or nothing.
All right, it's 10 o'clock. Jessica, you want to say 2 words before we go? Because I got it 10 o'clock.
I don't know. It's perception. Make sex work for you. You bring meaning to sex. Sex don't mean meaning to you.
Okay. So that one more time. Perception is?
It's all about your perception and you bring meaning to sex. Sex doesn't bring meaning to you.
Oh, that's good. That's excellent. Excellent. Okay. All right, ladies. Thank y'all. This has been a fabulous conversation. I hope y'all have a fabulous day.
You too.